Hello everyone. Welcome to the cloud computing demo. This is Srinivas, your trainer. So I carry around 12 plus years of experience in the domain of cloud and DevOps. I currently work as a cloud and DevOps architect for one of the US based healthcare industry. So in this demo of today, we will deep dive into the cloud computing future and why we have to learn cloud computing. Okay, so the first question that comes is, what is cloud computing? So to understand this, we need to know what is computing. The computing is that memory power. So if you check any of the systems that are running, any applications that you take, the task manager you take, you can see that some of the applications that are running in your system, they need CPU, memory, disk, the networking, the storage. These are the minimum requirements for running any applications on any digital device. You take your mobile, or you would go and browse any website in the browser. That application where it is running, it will be using some computing power. So if you are hosting a startup, and if you have an application that you want to make it available in the internet, then definitely you need a large quantity of computing power. So where do you get this computing power? Then definitely you have to go to purchasing some data servers like this. So you need a server setup like this if you want a large quantity of computing power to serve your application to the internet people. If your customers are in internet, definitely every application now is in internet. So just check this. Suppose if you want a 64 GB of RAM and 1.8 TB of SAS HDD, if you want to host it as a on-premise server, you have to pay 1,22,999 rupees you have to pay. So just for a simple 64 GB RAM, see for this one around 960 GB and 64 GB DDR4, you have to pay around nearly 3 lakh rupees. So very costly. If you are a startup, if you are starting like this, so very huge amount of money you have to invest on the server itself. It will not only this, you have to invest on the space for this, the power backup, the security, the technical team. There is so much. But when you go to cloud computing, that is what it says. In the cloud computing, all those computing power that you want, you will get it over the internet. Okay? On-demand delivery of the IT resources via the internet with pay-as-you-go pricing. You don't have to buy all some at once. You can rent them as you want, pay-as-you-go pricing. For you will pay only for as much as you are using. Suppose if you purchase the servers for 100 GB, but you are using only 60 GB of it, the 40 GB is simply useless. But when you go to cloud computing, if you are using only 64 GB of RAM, you will pay only for that much. So that is the advantage, and that is why it is called pay as you go pricing. And you don't need to go and purchase any of the resources. You can rent them on internet. Okay, you can rent them on internet from the cloud providers. Like they will have a data centers, huge data centers like this, lakhs and crores of CPUs, RAM, storage will be available. So out of it, they will offer you some of the computing services that you want, and you will pay only for as much as that you are using it currently. Okay, so that is what the cloud computing become very popular. So going on to the next. So why again? Why you have to go for cloud computing revolution? First thing is cost savings. So you are not going to pay immediately on demand. You are not going to pay. You are not going to invest hugely on the servers. Speed, again, it's available. Very high capability server. The networking is very high. You can access them at very faster rate. Global access. It's not that it is restricted to some global specific areas, geographical areas. You can go to any part of the world and you can access it. Scalability is another very good advantage here. Suppose you purchased a hardware of 100 GB and it goes full within a month. Then again, if you want to purchase, you have to go and put a market research, and then you have to buy. But in the cloud, you can increase the capacity of your server from 100 GB to 200 GB in seconds. Okay, that is the advantage of cloud computing. So most of the companies in the world currently use this cloud computing. So to see the difference between the cloud and the traditional IT sector, that means where you go and purchase the servers, put a server room and maintain it. Some of the differences mainly is cost. If you take the traditional on-premise setup, you have to pay upfront. How much your hardware that you purchase, for that you have to pay upfront. But whereas in cloud, you only pay for as much as you use. Okay, scaling is again manual. Here you have to go and purchase the service, come back, and again, that's how you're scaling it. Scaling means increasing the capacity of the service. So it's completely manual in traditional IT services, whereas in cloud, you can auto scale it as well. So if you want, you can just set up a rule that will automatically scale on demand. When a requirement comes, it will automatically scale up. When there is no requirement, it will automatically downscale also. Deployment in traditional IT sector, it will take days. You have to give a lot of market research, collect the quotation from the vendors, and then finalize. Whereas in cloud, it's in minutes. Okay, in sometimes, if you know well, in seconds you can create a cloud infrastructure, and access is only local. It's there in your server room, but the cloud servers are global. You can access anywhere from the world. Okay, globally accessible. So let us understand about AWS Cloud exclusively today. Okay, AWS Cloud, Amazon Web Services, is very popular and is the first cloud launched in 2006. Now around 1 million plus customers are using this globally. So why AWS? If you see the market share as on today, when I'm recording this, Amazon holds around 33 to 34% of the market share. So there are other clouds as well, like Azure from Microsoft. It is very steadily growing. And there is Google Cloud as well, from Google, Alibaba, Oracle, Salesforce, IBM. There are many other cloud providers also. They are steadily growing. But since Amazon is still the OG, the leader of the cloud providers. So that means 100 people, if they are using the cloud, 33 to 34% of the people are adopting Amazon Cloud. So if more people are adopting, then more jobs. Okay, so that's why we need to learn Amazon Web Services. So what are some of the services that we see in this courses? Some of the major that I'm just showing now. Very old, and the first one is EC2, Elastic Compute Cloud. The cloud computing that we are talking about, Compute Cloud, EC2. That memory power, the RAM power, the storage power, the disk power, the networking power, auto scaling power, the load balancing power that is required to power your applications on the cloud engineering is this service that is required. Compute, EC2. Then we have storage. So if you want to store a large amount of data, say TBs and TBs of data, and you want to perform some analytics on top of it, or that data you want to connect with compute engines, then we have a very good service. And again, it's a very old service in AWS, that is S3, simple storage service. Okay, S3. And then we can also launch databases, DynamoDB, RDS, MySQL, PostgreSQL, various types of databases you can create. You can connect it with your application. We can create a multi-tier architecture, and how to network. So how to connect them within a specific VPC, how to enable security rules with the help of a VPC. Now all the security best practices that we can do to secure application in AWS Cloud, we will learn with user security, IAM, identity and access management. For user level identity, access management, application level access and identity management, third party user access and access management, how to restrict their permissions. All the security best practices we'll be studying as part of this course. So in that, EC2 means what? The Elastic Cloud Computing. So your virtual servers on the cloud in minutes, not in minutes. If you know it well, in seconds, less than 60 seconds, you can run your servers, no, that we call them instances in AWS. Within less than a minute, you can launch a server and you can start using it. It's like you go and purchase a laptop in less than 60 seconds and put it for up and running to run your application. Okay, it is that much fast, easy to use for that, where you can host your application with the help of RAM, ROM, and storage provided in the EC2 service. So we will show you how to create this, how to use this, how to run applications in EC2. And then S3, it's like your Dropbox, your storage box. You can store all your data. Anything that can be stored digitally can be stored in S3. So it's like your Dropbox. You can store buckets. See, you could take an S3 bucket. So what we can do in bucket, we can store water, we can put groceries. Similarly, S3 bucket, where it's a bucket, it can store some content, a digital content. Anything that has a digital space, you can store it here, a file, images, videos, application logs, application file, application code. Anything that you want to get data, application data, logs, that analytic data that you want to share with others globally, with application, with other EC2 services. You want to integrate with data analytics like Glue, computing with EC2 or a Lambda function. You can easily integrate AWS S3 services. So this also we will see how to use this and how to host a static website on S3 also. We will be staying on it. And then some Lambda, the serverless part. You don't even need to host a server, but your application is serving people. Magic. You have the code, you just give it to AWS Lambda. Somebody, whenever is required, you will come and access it. The good thing is that you just pay only for how much ever time your Lambda code gets triggered. You will pay only for that much amount and that much time and that much data that is consumed. That is what AWS Lambda. We will deploy our code and we'll see how this Lambda magic works. Okay, and also see, this is what I was telling about. So if you have a Lambda, say some user who wants to access it, he'll put some bucket, he'll put some file to S3, or he'll request from API that goes to Lambda. Lambda performs it and gives back to the user in seconds, within a flash. No, it will happen. If your code can run, it will take less than a second in flash without hosting any servers. Lambda performs this automation. Okay, so best example maybe, excuse me, like you have a file, you have a software that anybody puts a image, your Lambda code picks it up, resize it, and sends it back. So that is one example. Like you put a one paper, so you want a Lambda to correct it, it will correct it and it will upload it. Like this, you can do n number of projects, real-time projects on this, and we'll be seeing these real-life examples in this course. Okay, so if you see now today, if you are using AWS, that means if you're accessing any applications in now, like Netflix, Spotify, Instagram, or if you are using internet today, if you open your app, any of your apps in your mobile, then definitely you are using AWS. Most of the applications in the world are running on AWS. Okay, so some of the career opportunities that we get once we complete this course is you can apply as cloud engineer, DevOps engineer, cloud solution architect, data engineer, junior cloud engineers, junior DevOps engineers. So we will also learn Linux as part of it. So Linux administrator, Linux engineer. You can see the salary ranges for them typically start from 8 lakhs for experienced people. For freshers, it will be from 4 lakhs to ranging based on experience 25 lakhs plus in India and 100K plus globally. You can get it. The cloud, everybody is moving to cloud. The cloud jobs are more. So first we'll learn the cloud basics. So we'll understand the core AWS services within the security over this. And then we'll move on to DevOps course as well as part of this. So automation, Terraform, like Kubernetes, Docker, Jenkins, GitHub, some of the Terraform tools to automate the infrastructure within AWS. And we will do some projects, real-time projects. For every service that we see, we'll be doing a project and you will be certified as well. And we will help you to clear this certification. The content will definitely help you to clear the AWS certification. So some of the demos that we do in this course is like creating this architecture of two-tier architecture, three-tier architecture, with the internet gateway, with creating a VPC in the domain, and then you have a subnets, the NAT gateway, the load balancers, going to the private subnet, how the data flows, creating architectures like this. Okay, and then we'll see how to create a load balancers and distribute the load. Say you have 4 servers and you have a single domain. Okay, if single domain, if many people are there from the internet, if the people reach out to your application, the internet, you will route them to your load balancer. You will see how to create a load balancer, different kinds of load balancer, and then how the load is distributed to each servers, so that not a single server is overloaded, and even the clients also should not feel that your application is giving some latency. So this practical examples also we'll be seeing it. Okay, so let us learn this cloud and join the cloud revolution, so become future proof. Okay, so see you in the classroom next. Okay, bye. Thank you.